Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look at Luna, see what's going on with this bad boy, and help understand big picture best practice. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I really just love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. Been trading for quite some time, and I can tell you that it's an amazing experience to be able to just have this be my full-time job. And I've got an amazing community too, over 300 members. CryptoCache.tech if you want to check that out. Reference link in the description below, of course. And I provide you with a trading academy, trading community, and a signal group, which is actually quite amazing because obviously we've been taking a lot of profit recently, and it's a lot of fun to be able to kind of share my trades with you so you understand how to specifically follow them, or just more importantly, how to set them up yourself with multiple profit targets and trailing stop losses. Whole 9 yards. Check that out in your own time. All right, so here's something we want to look at. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room. We are testing the 50-day simple moving average on the 1-day time frame for Luna. So this isn't disadvantageous by any stretch, but once again, a break above or clean break above would be nice. So 95 or higher would be fantastic, but generally speaking, that could potentially work as a resistance to hold the price action down for a little while. It may not last for very long, but it is notoriously a pretty strong support or resistance level. We got to treat it as such for the moment. Okay, so potential resistance there. You can also see that potential, so to speak, quality here on the RSI as well, where the price is kind of testing 50 at this moment. Granted, the 1-day candlestick hasn't closed yet, so we can't say it's a clean break above, but generally speaking, it's looking like it wants to trend above 50, which would put us on the right side of tracks, put us back on that bullish side of the tracks again, in that sense. For lack of better terms, no other way to describe it. It's just kind of, we're on the right track, essentially, okay? So that being said, looking pretty good all in all. We're looking at the MACD as well. We can see a taper, of course, from the amount of momentum from the bears. So obviously the bears have lost their momentum and the bulls are trying to take that, so to speak, okay? So again, mostly positive stuff here in that sense. One last thing too I want to take a look at is we did hit a 9 here previously as well. It's another reason why this recovery is so strong, because we had this over-exhaustive state to the downside for Terra Luna, which honestly it should be a 3-figure price point. $100 or higher is probably what its average should be right now, and it's lower than that. So I mean speculating just abstractly based on its history and how good of a coin it is, I'd be surprised we don't hit 100 within the next few days. Honestly, it's just, it seems pretty much inevitable at this point. But that being said, we want to make sure we don't have any exhaustive states here. So let's take a look at the 4-hour, see what's going on. We've got an 8 on TD sequential, so we are getting close to an exhaustive state. So I'd like to see is a pull back to the next Fibonacci retracement at 92, consolidate and come back up within 12 to 24 hours. That'd be fantastic to see. Obviously, we don't always get what we want, but an 8 on TD sequential tells us it's been bullish for the last day and a half, and that is essentially too much of a good thing, okay? Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, so keep that in mind. But here's the cool thing. This resistance level at $92 worked as resistance for about 8 hours straight, came back up to test it 3rd and 4th time, and eventually broke above. So that being said, we can anticipate $92, very close, approximate to $92, working as a strong resistance, a support moving forward. So we should expect the price, if it were to pull back, to bounce off 92 and continue upwards. That should be the anticipation. Another thing to note too is that we are making higher lows essentially, and we broke our previous high, so we are now making higher highs as well, okay? So really good stuff here in that sense. Those are ultimately things we want to try to identify and look for. So I do think this Fibonacci retracement of approximately $92 or $91.70 is going to hold and continue to maintain itself. That should be the new support. Moving on to really quick here, RSI. This is exuding also overextensive behavior or extensive behavior. In other words, with that 8 4-hour candlesticks, basically we're at an 8 on TD sequential, telling us in the last 32, 36 hours, what have you, we actually have an overextensive state. In other words, with the RSI being at 70, it's working as resistance. So we shouldn't expect the price to break through that immediately, but if it does, we can expect the price to continue to go much higher. The better case scenario is the price to retrace back down, let the RSI kind of calm down, and then leg up again, so we get this little push once more, okay? That would be ultimately the way to go. Again, we don't always go what we want, but that's what we want to try to see. Looking at the 1 hour, we can see probably another exhaustive state here as well. We hit a 9 on TD sequential previously, went into extreme overtime, came up to retrace, and then we're back up to a 9 again. Anytime we see 2 9s in a row, keep this in mind, the likelihood of a pullback is much higher. All right, so we didn't get a pullback here. Obviously, it continued up and it went down eventually. But generally speaking, we should expect some kind of pullback now. So I think it is likely to see 92 in the immediate future versus 100, if that makes sense. But I still also think this will continue to hold as a support level and continue higher from there. So it'd be ultimately awesome to be able to get a reset here, either sideways, reset down to 92, and then up to 100 plus from there, okay? Generally what we're looking for. But again, 2 nines on a TD sequential, specifically on the 1 hour, you can expect some type of pullback and or correction, but it may not be super significant considering we have a tremendous amount of volume now holding the price in place, and that is important. In fact, why don't we take a quick look at standard deviation and see. We did go outside those standard deviation lines here recently, and now it's starting to contract. We're getting enough volume to keep up with the price point. But generally speaking, based on the volume weighted average price, the average amount of volume in the last 24 hours, $91.28 should essentially be that support level. That's basically where the volume weighted average price should be. That being said, that works as a support level. So what's nice about that is the price were to come back down, coincidentally, really close to 92, we'll see a bounce off that as well. Oftentimes the volume weighted average support works as a support level, and it really helps you understand where you're at if you're on the right side of, once again, the tracks. Because again, when you're looking at TA and you're trying to identify, where are we at on everything, the best thing you can do is try to just extract a little bit of information on each time frame and make an evaluated decision. Based on what we've seen here so far, Luna is exuding good qualities. Yes, we're testing the 50-day SMA and that could work as a resistance, but everything else is working favorably. We're bending over extended side, so there's no doubt we need to calm down and retrace and collect ourselves, so to speak. But once we've done that, we can probably see the price continue higher. So in general, we've been able to disseminate that there's a lot more positive than negative, and the likelihood of a pullback is lower. At least a significant pullback is what I'm getting at here. We shouldn't see anything lower than 92. Worst case scenario, nothing lower than 88. Okay. If we go and come down that low, I'm going to open another position and hopefully take another long to the upside. Once again, a lot of this is contingent on Bitcoin's success. Bitcoin is doing very well in the last 24 to 48 hours. It's showing a lot more strength than it has in the past. We're maintaining that ascending trend line. A lot of good stuff here. So having confidence in Bitcoin helps me feel comfortable in Luna continuing higher. In fact, Luna is proven to do very well even if Bitcoin does poorly. So that being said, I think 100 plus is very likely in the immediate future. And for now, we just got to get past this 50-day SMA with a nice close above 95 and expect a retrace with a bounce off 92. That's kind of where we're at. All right, so I hope you learned something here today. If so, comment below. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to working with you if you want to become a community member. CryptoCache.tech. I have a signal group, trading community, and trading academy. Awesome experience. Over 300 members presently. Love it. And I thank you so much again to my current community members for making this a reality. Awesome, awesome stuff. Thanks again. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.